Hello, this is Orson Welles. Welcome to the Weirded Beardos.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Thatcher and Darren Doctorman, the Weirded Beardos.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone. I don't want to do that. Yeah, it's a new year.
Here,
for all you other flippers.
Here we are. We're recording this on the next to the last day of the year.
The penultimate day?
The penultimate day, yeah, that's
Penultimate
the word
day.
for it.
The ultimate pen day. But never mind.
That's what I get at Jack in the Box every time I go. I get the penultimate cheeseburger.
The second place burger.
Because I never want to order the ultimate one because that could be the last bite I ever take.
Well, also after that, everything's downhill. Like if it's the ultimate, like everything you have after, that's fine.
I mean, you know.
So I hope everyone's having a good New Year. All of you in the future who are listening to this or watching this.
Yes,
also,
I hope so.
It's sad that this is what you're doing in 2026. You're listening to us. Or no, it's great. It's great.
There are worse things to do.
There are. I was realizing and just thinking about the year and everything, but if you say, well, I was thinking about how all these YouTube things I watch, it's always the thumbnail is always someone going, and it's always like, worst thing ever, everyone's going to die, absolute catastrophe. And I think we should start doing that. And the other thing I thought, you can always put this, the president is an idiot, and half the country will agree with you.
Right, but the other half you'll lose.
No, I know, but it's one of those things you can say, president's an idiot, and half the country will be like, yeah, the other half will be, fuck you. So, it's that's the times we live in. 2025 was a hell of a year, and I don't mean in a good way.
Yeah, no, there were a lot of things that happened that were bad, a lot of people we lost, a lot of communication that didn't happen.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Yeah, see?
See, that was a living example. People died. Things got crappy. I mean, just whatever side of the political fence you're on.
I don't know if things got crappy. I think they were already crappy.
Well, they got crappier. I mean, the crap level has definitely gone to 11. I'll say that. I mean, it's not gone to 14, which I don't know. Well, that's the other thing. Prognosticators on the internet. You learn, on YouTube particularly, the way to get people to watch is go, this is the worst thing that could ever happen. This is horrible. Plan now. I mean, Robert
Kiyosaki. Why you should never do this.
Yes, that's one. Hidden dangers that could kill you is another one. Right. That's always the 9 o'clock news. Coming up next, Tommy Bahama with what could kill you in your kitchen.
Earth-shattering secrets that you'll find fascinating.
The other one's Get Out Now, and it could be finances, it could be your house, it could be the state you live in. It is funny. I mean, the signal to noise ratio. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube now. I've stopped watching network TV. I only watch streaming for a specific thing. Like I've been watching Fallout, which I've been enjoying, and Pluribus, which we talked about, which had a good ending. I just hate 8 episodes.
It's not an ending, though. It's not an ending.
I mean, last episode. I mean, it ended the season. It's not over. They're obviously
but we have to wait at least another year for the next season.
It was like Severance, 2 years. You're like, I don't even remember what it sucks. That's one thing that sucks. Hollywood is drying up. One of the reasons I'm moving is like, well, I can read the writing on the wall. It says no work for you. Also, most of the work I've done I could do from home. So, or they fly me somewhere. So,
they'll fly you somewhere.
Oh, they'll fly me somewhere, buddy. Oh yeah, they will.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's crazy times. You live in interesting times. I mean, 3-Eye Atlas got a lot of press. That was fascinating to watch. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Well, stuff happened that was either it's an alien space, it's coming towards Earth. Okay, it's leaving Earth now, but it could still be an alien.
No, it could be coming back. We don't know.
Yeah. And then I do listen to a couple actual astrophysicists who talk about it. And, Avi Loeb is great because he's the one who's like, it's weird. This is not a regular comet. And finally, all the.
I guess it is a regular comet.
Well, no, they haven't said that yet. They still say it's incredibly anomalous from every comet we've seen before. that doesn't mean it's an alien craft. It just means like the thing that they've been talking about the last couple of weeks was the amount of particles it's putting out, like micron level dust particles, are completely obscuring what the actual thing looks like. That's why we don't have any real pictures. We don't even know how big it is. Because
so it's a comet with dandruff?
It is. But they're saying, and then when they do the, I guess, spectrographic analysis, they're saying it's like a lot of nickel, which is not normal for a comet. But anyway, they're saying this could be a comet from the other side of the galaxy. And
yeah, as it passed by, they could see the side view of Thomas Jefferson. So they knew it was nickel.
Oh, that's only for Americans. Do they call them nickels in Canada? What do they call it? A 5-cent loonie? What?
Loonies?
Canadian listeners.
Loonies and balloonies and goonies.
A toonie and a loonie. But what is their quarter? They think just call it a quarter. But
they don't have quarters.
They didn't? They've never had quarters? They've had a quarter.
Their quarters are worth about a nickel.
Well, they did. They had a quarter loonie and a half loonie. It was just called a loo.
Or a knee.
What else? So we talked about Pluribus. That was a good show.
How are you doing? No, we haven't talked in a while because we haven't done an episode.
I had a flu over Thanksgiving, so I missed Thanksgiving, and then I just got over one. Thanksgiving, I did not give thanks for it, and then I just got another one last week, so I missed Christmas. And
sorry,
today's the first day
of the rest of your life.
Of the rest of my life. But it's a little weird that, I mean, some years I get cold and then 2 weeks go by and another cold, and this year's one of them. I don't know if it's because it's been colder and wetter here, or I'm actually considering having a mold company come out and see if there's like mold in my bathroom or something, because it's not normal that I get 2 weeks, and it's all respiratory stuff, nothing else. So that's kind of been sucky. Like I said, no work since August, but I haven't really been looking for work, but work hasn't been looking for me either.
Yeah.
And then social life is fine. I'm packing a lot of it. A lot of my time now is spent either figuring out what to do, change, fix, modify at my new house,
right?
And how to pack up my existing place down in LA. And then the next question is, do I rent or sell? Selling makes my life easier, and that I don't have to be a landlord.
Right.
What I might do is sell, but be the bank, because banks right now are kind of like, the interest rates aren't dropping. I mean, they might drop by the time I'm looking to sell, which would be like May. They're saying interest rates are going to keep dropping because the economy's in the toilet, but which would be good for me. What's ironic is
that other half of the audience, they just left.
The economy's in the toilet?
Yes.
Oh, you think there's people right now who think this is a great economy? I'd like to meet them.
No. I just talking about interest rates and all that stuff. Our audience doesn't give a shit.
Well, they might if they have a credit card or trying to buy a home or have a mortgage payment that is.
No, that's all done. No one does that anymore.
No one does this.
Yeah.
Well, I like this show because we talk about everything. We talk about finances. We talk about boobs. Actually, I haven't talked about boobs.
We haven't talked about boobs.
Boobs are great. Half of our audience just left. All 2 women. Well, so half our audience.
No, it's better than that. But I'm just glad that so many came back for this final episode of the year.
They did? Well, thanks for coming back.
Well, because if they can hear me, they came back.
All right, yeah, and they're living in the future.
That's right.
What's it like? Hey, email us. What's the future?
What's it like from 2026?
Yeah. Yes. Ooh, fascinating.
Is everything wonderful again?
If you listen to any YouTube thing, it's like 2026 is going to be horrible, or 2026 is going to be the year you're going to make all the money. You're like, okay.
Well, remember when we were saying in 2024, stay alive till 25?
Yeah.
Yeah. That worked out pretty good.
What rhymes with 26? Everything sucks and 20 sucks. Take your picks in 26.
Get your kicks in 26.
Get your kicks.
That's better.
That's
on Route 66.
Speaking of Route 66, have you ever driven Route 66? I have.
Or the parts that are still alive of it. Yeah. No,
never
I've
done it.
driven across the country. I think 3 or 4 times.
I've done north or south to north. I've driven all the way to TJ and all the way to Vancouver, Canada, but I've never done it in one go.
Right.
In terms of east to west, I've never done it. In fact, this summer, well, once I've moved into my house, so it might be 27 I do it. But there's 2 things I'd like to do, bucket list: do Route 66, drive. It ends in Chicago, right? It doesn't go to New York. You
Right.
kind of end, yeah.
It goes all the way from Chicago to LA.
To
That's
LA.
how the song went. Yeah.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
Having never done it, my girlfriend has done big parts of it, but she's one of the reasons we're interested in doing it. And then Scotland. I want to go see where
Route 66 does not go through Scotland.
Oh no, it does. No, they've changed it. That's right. You go all the way to Scotland now. You end up in Glasgow. Right under it goes underneath the Atlantic Ocean. So yeah, I want to do Scotland. So if any listeners have any advice about Scotland, please put in the comments in the future. Scotland. I have friends who just moved there. One of the bartenders at my favorite tiki bar here in LA, Broken Compass, Thor, who you probably remember.
Yeah.
He just moved to Scotland. He and his wife took over management of a 8-bedroom inn, like a pub downstairs and a inn up in the Inverness area. So definitely that's a
all right. We're going to Scotland.
Going to Scotland. There'll be whales there.
No, there's no whales there.
There'll be Scotch there.
That's true.
That's true. True. Good. If you want to hear a great Glaswegian accent, besides Billy Connolly, who modified it quite a bit so Americans can understand him, watch the movie Gregory's Girl, which is by a great Scottish director. I
wish that I had Gregory's Girl.
What can I find an accent like that?
Nowhere.
But everyone's good. No, like Gregory, you just gotta get in the bit, and you're like, whoa! It really trains your ear to understand a Scottish accent,
or it trains your ear to shut down.
No, I get locked in. I have a good ear for accents.
You get locked in.
Oh, why you?
Come on, that was good. That was really good.
Was. Yeah, but that's why I was mad about it.
But no.
I'm mad because I didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see what the dude has to say.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
He's one of my gods.
That's just your opinion, man.
Just your opinion, man. Hey, everybody, make sure to listen to the 2 dudes, man. I'm telling you, Walter. I forget because Jeff Bridges now like this. I think he's had a stroke or a throat cancer or something.
I think he had throat cancer.
Okay.
Or some kind of cancer.
Something, because he talks like this now. Yeah. But back in the day, I forgot how high his voice would go. Like, Walter, I'm telling you, man. Like, in my head, he's like, hey, Walter. But no, he would get up there. Hey, I've got a beverage here, man. But I love Jeff Bridges and I love Dick Van Dyke, and I'm glad they're both alive. And Bill Shatner, who you know way better than I do. But glad they're all alive.
I'm glad they're all alive. We lost a bunch of people this year.
Well, Rob Reiner was...
that's unfreaking believable, man.
That was like, what?
Yeah.
And the horrible thing about it, not to dwell too much, but he was an incredibly tolerant, loving father who gave his son, who I guess obviously diagnosed as schizophrenic, and was living at the house, and gave him a mile, and was just, I love you. You can, I will argue with you when you act crazy. And then his son just snapped. I haven't heard, and maybe they're just not talking about it, if his son shows any remorse. Like, did he snap out of his fugue state or something? Go, oh my God, what have I done? Or is he just like, I mean, from what I heard of his arraignment, he just went, I understand, Your Honor, and then that was it. What a nightmare for everybody, for all of us, to lose Rob Reiner, but his family.
Did you ever get to meet him?
I never met Rob. I met his daughter. We were friends for a little bit. We had mutual friends, and we went to the house once.
I worked on one of his movies. I worked on The Story of Us, and I spent a few hours with him doing storyboards and other things. And he was very nice, and he was very yeah.
everyone. I mean, I have friends who did movies with him, the whole film, and they had nothing but great things to say, and he would, very respectful and warm and everything you would want in a person, let alone a director. Yeah, that's one of the things that made 2025 really suck.
Yeah, one of
Dick
the
Van
things.
Dyke turned 100. That made it great. He's
Well,
alive.
I suppose. I mean, he's he admits that he's not doing well.
But yes.
But
to make it to 100, then you can go, all right, tag.
Okay, I'm done.
I'm done. I mean, Billy Connolly's he's not close to 100 yet, but he's in his late 80s. But
you keep talking about Billy Connolly. What is it with Billy Connolly and you?
I mentioned him once. This is the second time I mentioned him because he's a friend.
Okay.
And I care about him. And he's got Parkinson's. And he's been, the reason I brought him up is I just got a thing saying he's having an art show. He's been doing in his convalescence.
He paints with his beard.
Oh, yeah, bastard. Oh, no, it's great. He's been doing paintings or drawings and selling them. Like, well, see, there you go. When you're sitting in a wheelchair with a catheter, you can do this. I mean, you and I can do that. I mean, I do that now. I mean, I don't have the wheelchair, but I do enjoy the
Cyril Connolly.
Semi-Connolly. Sorry. So what else?
David Lynch.
Yeah, David Lynch. I met him once. I was friends with his daughter back in the late 80s, early 90s, Jenny.
Yeah.
I met David. What was funny about David is he was like the most kind of droopy dog. Well, and he just kind of had no riz, as the kids today would say.
Right.
But I mean, just an interesting, deep thinker. But he just kind of almost came across like the most boring accountant when I interfaced with him, which was not a lot. We didn't work together. But yeah, he was just giving a talk, and I met him, and I said, "Oh, I'm friends with your dad." This is back when I was like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "Oh, my dad." I mean, he was just all right. Yeah. And he would eat at Bob's every day, I guess.
Yeah.
I never saw him there, but yeah. Did you ever meet him?
I never saw him there. I went to his house once.
Wow, for a gig to meet with him?
No, he was getting rid of a giant easel.
Oh.
That what's his name? The Universal matte painter.
Matt Urasich?
No. The older
Ellen Shaw?
older one.
Peter Ellen Shaw?
Whitlock. Albert Whitlock.
Whitlock.
Albert Whitlock's easel that he had, that he apparently gave it to him on Dune, because Whitlock did a bunch of stuff on Dune. And I went there with someone from Prop Store, and we went and picked it up at his house.
So it could hold like an 8-foot.
Yeah. No, it was huge.
Yeah.
But we went to this house, and it was all like a cement block.
The house was?
in the Hollywood Hills, and a big staircase that went up to the back, and it
wasn't a Frank Lloyd Wright stylistic choice. It was a cement block.
I don't know what it was. It was
it's a very cheap way
very brutalist, very
that makes sense.
Odd.
Well, I mean, his sensibilities were very. Brutalist isn't the right word, but spare. He wasn't a guy who liked filigree and Rococo and Art Nouveau in any of his work. It was very, I mean, that doesn't shock me. I would say if he had a house full of like porcelain dolls and Rococo art and stuff, I'd be like, wow, that's weird. I love, speaking completely semi-related, but Alan Funt was a huge collector of Alma Tadema, which I guess you'd consider a neoclassicist. He was one of the guys, or a pre-Raphaelite in the turn of the century, 2 centuries ago. Painted beautiful Greek people sitting in marble columns. And
we thought it would be funny to take these 2 Greek people and put them in a painting. Let's see what happens.
What was funny was he was buying them for pennies because it was during the 50s when, that's kitsch.
Yeah.
And he had the world's largest collection of Alma Tademas. He was buying them for a couple grand each.
Wow.
And then suddenly in the 80s and the early 90s, people are like, hey, If you can paint good, you're a good artist. Jackson Pollock was a scam perpetrated by the CIA. And people are like, what? That's modern art. It's smart. It's like, no.
No, it's dumb.
Human flesh and marble that looks real. People are like, huh, that is good. And suddenly his collection is worth millions. I mean, that's kind of, I guess, investing, isn't it? Is buying garbage and waiting for it to become
and waiting for it to become gold.
Yeah. Buy trash. Speaking of gold, gold has gone through the roof for anyone who's a gold stacker, and silver. That's an interesting thing. I don't, I'm not financially savvy, obviously. But the whole thing, if anyone's been even just casually listening to the news about silver skyrocketing to almost $85 an ounce, when, a year ago it was like $35.
Right.
And then the banks, this is all I keep hearing, the banks are controlling it. They're selling and trying to keep it down. And I haven't gone deep dive why that's so important to keep silver below $70.
I think it might have something to do with industry needing silver more than they do gold.
Right, but banks don't give a crap.
No, they do, because the value of stuff gets thrown off, and if something becomes way too expensive, the economy stops.
Well, that's where we're at.
That's not where we're at. We're not there yet.
Oh my God, cars, the average U.S. car, average median is $50,000. And they're just saying, that's the other thing. I was looking to get a new car, lease or buy, and they're saying car prices are insane. And they are. You look at, even a truck is like $35,000 for something that used to be $20,000. So car prices are insane. So much so that now all these car dealerships, I think there's something like 1 million cars sitting on lots right now that they can't sell. And normally they're like a 60 to 80, 60, 70 day turnaround, like enough to keep they're looking at it depends on the make and the model, but like 150, 200 days.
Well, you know what that means? That means big bargains in 26.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, which is why I didn't buy or lease, even though end of the year is when all the deals are. But now they're saying January might be the good time to buy a 25 that didn't sell because, they have, I've gone back and forth. I don't need a new car right now. My car's fine. I was just looking at it because my car's 8 years old. And you're like, all right, I don't like to push it past 100,000 because then you just start putting money into it. But yeah, that's another thing. Just go on YouTube and Google car sales or car, and they're just talking about. I'm listening to a couple YouTube channels about cars and deals and all that just in the last 6 weeks because I was interested in doing that. And there's companies now that they don't know what to do with it because of that. The used car market, they're like, well, used cars are going to great. In fact, there was a whole thing about CarMax not going bankrupt, but kind of tanking because people can't even afford used cars, which was CarMax's big thing. And so that is an economic indicator that cars aren't moving, new or used. We live in interesting times. I don't know enough to go. Well, sorry, we're talking about silver.
Right.
And why banks want to keep it down, but I would think industry would want to keep. Industry and banks are probably hand in hand, but
they're the same.
Right. But the fact that, here's the other thing. He's like, what? The banks can control the market? They can manipulate the market?
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, I know. But it's weird to have such, usually it's subtle behind the scenes. It's not an obvious manipulation. Unless you kind of watch every day and you know the mechanics of it. But this is like right out front. Like, nope. It went up to 83 and suddenly it dropped $10 an ounce in like a matter of an hour and a half or something, because the banks were just like, oh, shit. But I don't know how, the mechanics of doing that is just selling, I guess, tons of, or, hundreds of thousands of tons of silver.
Yeah.
But then if there's this run on it, people just buy more. I don't know. It's an interesting balance. And
the more people buy, the less expensive it becomes.
Well, no. The more people buy it, the more, because there's a limited amount on the planet. I don't know that, and then it's getting to like the silver mines in Peru and wherever where silver is.
Not after 3I Delta, whatever the hell it was.
That was nickel, buddy. Nickel.
Oh, there was silver in there. I'm sure of it.
silver and gold.
Gold, silver and
Hey, I
gold.
look like Santa.
You do.
Yeah, I get that every day now, especially over the holidays.
You know what? When I was in
I
was in Columbus doing a convention at the beginning of the month.
That's a great story. Anyway, there's more.
I wore my Santa hat.
Wow.
And actually this sweater. So I looked like a Star Trek Santa. I got more attention from young ladies dressed as Santa than I have in, 40 years.
Yeah, there's a Santa fetish that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
I witnessed it at the weirdest place at a friend's memorial. A good friend had passed away.
Yeah.
One of the Henson people that I was very close with. And I was at his memorial at his widow's house. And there were a bunch of people there I knew and some people there I didn't know. And there was this attractive woman in her middle age who just was like, hi, how are you? And she said, I love Santa. You look like Santa. I'm like, yeah, I get that. Yeah, she's like, I love Santa. I really love Santa. I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. And she shows me a Santa tattoo and a jingle all the way kind of thing. And it turns out her husband, who I knew of him and I'd heard the name, but he's standing right there. Mm-hmm. And she's literally, can I sit in your lap? And I'm like, and he's like, it's okay. I'm used to it. I'm like, wow. And literally she's like, I think you're super hot. And I'm like, okay, really uncomfortable. Yeah. And, I heard, what's the movie Bad Santa where there's the gal with the Santa fetish. And I always thought, yeah, of course, there's gorilla suit fetishes too, but it was weird and very awkward because it was a memorial. And I'm the first person to do the uncomfortable thing because it's funny, but she wasn't doing this to be funny.
What better thing to do at a memorial than celebrate the activities of life?
I agree. I mean, that's where I was. And I tried to drag her into the garage, but the husband was right there. And that made it awkward. No, it's weird. I don't know. I had a dating site. I look like this, and I didn't get a bunch of action. But yeah, maybe I should wear more red and white.
Yeah.
I still want to do my Santa 360 YouTube channel once I moved.
Well, here's your chance when you move into the new place. You can,
and it looks like Santa's house.
Christmas lights up everywhere.
No, I'm going to take pictures and then AI it to look like it's covered in snow at the North Pole.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, do that.
Well, I don't want to spend 5 hours photoshopping. AI
you don't want to do any work. Just let AI do it.
I'm doing the work. I'm taking the pictures. I'm modifying. No, stop. Yeah, photo bashing is not work.
Don't bash photos. They get enough trouble.
Speaking of AI, that's the other thing.
Speaking of gorilla fetish, our dear friend Bob Burns.
Yes, that was another.
Everyone's favorite gorilla, Tracy from the original Ghostbusters on Saturday morning.
The original Monster Kid, the guy who basically created the term and the. It's interesting. We've talked about this a little bit. Like this, our generation was the first to kind of have, and I don't know. I think it was a combination of 50s monster movies, television, showing them as a cheap way to burn off weekends where we're all not playing baseball because we're nerds. More Rora model kits, enough disposable income to buy Famous Monsters magazine. I mean, all these things kind of created this weird subset of typically white dudes, not girls. And I'm not saying girls don't like mom, but this, like ILM was
filled with monster kids.
Mm-hmm. And the makeup business in particular, the Rick Bakers and Stan Winston was not a monster kid, but everyone who worked for him was.
Right.
And Bob was like our Santa Claus.
Absolutely. And well, Rick Baker was 12 years old when he met Bob, and Bob gave him his first lessons in like mold making and things like that. Because Bob had worked in the 50s on these schlock sci-fi. And
Bob
it's really amazing.
I heard about Bob as a kid growing up, and I knew he was in Burbank, but I didn't know where he was. And as a young adult, after working at ILM, being friends with Rick and Chris Wayless, who were really close friends with Bob, I got to meet him and became a Bob buddy, and took him to the set of Dinosaurs when we were filming, and he loved it and was, and everyone came up to me, "Is that your dad?" I said, "Spiritually,
Kinda.
yes." Yeah, spiritually he could be. I don't think he is, but we looked very similar. And Lou Zudavern was there. He's like, "Is that your dad and brother?" I'm like, "They should be, but spiritually, but not genetically." But yeah, Bob was like your favorite uncle.
Yeah.
But you go to his house. I mean, the thing that most people know him for is Bob's basement, they called it, which wasn't a basement.
It wasn't a basement, yeah.
It was Bob's basically guest house or guest room. And it was filled with all the stuff, between he and Forey Ackerman, they had 90% of sci-fi and horror, memorabilia. And I don't know, I know Greg Nicotero has been who's the N of K&B Creature Effects.
Yeah.
The executor of the estate. And I know that Peter Jackson was bidding on stuff and wanting to buy stuff. And I know Guillermo del Toro, although Guillermo's been divesting himself of crap. I don't know if because he got a divorce or something, or he's just like, I have a house. I have a whole house. It's full of too much.
You need to buy another house.
The bleak house, it's called. I've never been to it. I have friends who've been there.
I haven't either.
Their work is there, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Which is exactly what any of us would do if we had enough money. You would have a house full of Star Trek stuff. I would have basically this house, but with a lot more crap in it. But one thing about moving is you realize, oh boy, I have a lot of crap I've accumulated over 35 years.
Yeah.
And people like, sell it. I'm like, I don't want to sell it. I'm going to sell an old coffee maker, but I want to sell my collection of heavy metal magazines. And I don't know why. I don't look at them. They sit in a plastic box and they're all, kept free from rats and vermin. But
free from rats. Okay, good.
Free from rats, yeah. The rats get to read them for free is what I mean.
Right.
And silverfish are the other things you want to keep away from.
Silverfish have gone up in value.
Silverfish, silverfish, they're eating all of my
It's Fishmas time in the city.
Hear them chew. Books I'll too. Soon they will be silverfish poo. Silverfish poo. That was a nice musical. That should be the name of this episode. Silverfish poo.
No thanks.
I don't know what it looks. I know what rat poo looks like and mouse poo, but not silverfish poo. That'd be a good name.
Rat poo looks like silverfish.
That'd be a good name. Be a good name for an elf. Silverfish poo, come here. Yes, Tootleberry. I need to come up with good
Santa.
Santa. Silverfish poo. Actually, SNL, who I've always watched. Now I just watch the excerpts on YouTube. I don't have to sit through an hour and a half and listen to the musical performances, which I usually don't give a crap about. They did a great Elf on the Shelf support group, and the whole thing was these elves have to watch their owners and what some of them go through. And no, Ariana Grande was an elf who'd been ripped in half by the family dog. And the other one was just lamenting the horrible things he had to witness as watching for Santa. It was very funny. Oh my god! And then they had a great Home Alone horror movie. These are worth watching on YouTube. Watch SNL Ariana Grande episode that came out December this year. I think it was their Christmas episode.
Right.
But they did a Home Alone parody with Ariana Grande playing Macaulay Culkin. But it's a horror movie, and that's all I'm going to say. It's hilarious. I laughed out loud multiple times, which is rare for SNL these days.
See, I think the original Home Alone is a horror movie.
To some degree, so they just kind of amped it up.
The guy steps on a nail, and it goes through his foot. If that is not a horror movie,
he gets his head toasted by a blowtorch. No, so they took it to its logical conclusion.
I see.
And but they just keep doubling down, and it's hilarious. And it's a complete
doubling down.
It's something that Tom Savini would be proud of from the 80s. It's just a gore fest, but it's hilarious. SNL. It has its hot and cold moments. It's kind of in a transition thing now. A lot of good cast members left. Heidi Gardner, who was amazing,
This
left.
happens every 5 or so years.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. The only person I know who I'm close with, who was on it, was Bobby Moynihan, and he has, and everyone says the same thing. I mean, he's a lovely person, didn't hate anybody, but he does talk about kind of the brutal schedule and just like it's not for the faint, or that's why it's all 25 to 40-year-olds. Just that schedule. It was not like that with the Muppets. Speaking of the Muppets, there's a new show coming out in February.
Yeah.
And please don't ask me about it because I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, good.
Yep. They've decided
it's basically it's a stage show again.
Yeah, it's just literally recreating. I mean, which we did in the first Muppet movie I did. Right. And we kept the sets for 3 years up in Canada going, we should redo the show. We've got literally, you could walk from the entrance to the auditorium or the theater all the way down the steps, up on stage, and go backstage, and it was all real. It was built for puppets and people, so you could pull out the floor. So the puppets, and we did, and all that, and they didn't care. Disney's like, don't care. And so now they've, I guess it's good for art departments. You get to rebuild all that. But I had nothing to do with that. Don't know anything about it. They are star flipping. Disney doesn't like people who actually work with Jim Henson. I think there's only 2 people left. Dave Goelz and Jane Goodnick might not even be there anymore. She was one of the puppet builders. So I think there's only one person who worked with Jim Henson, and Disney definitely doesn't want to hear from anybody who has an opinion. I mean, I was very worried about saying this because, I don't want to sound like, but Frank Oz said it 10 years ago. Like, Disney's a lovely company, but they don't know. The Muppets aren't the Muppets anymore. It's sort of, the way I say it is like, we bought Monty Python. We know the IP of Monty Python.
Yeah. Does it have to be funny, though?
Yeah. Well, it's a little, some of it was a little edgy. So we're going to tone it down. It's more of a family show because kids love Monty Python.
Yeah.
And we're casting for John Cleese.
Right.
Eric Idle's still alive. John doesn't want to do it. Terry Jones is dead.
And we want to have 4 women in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even going to go for the woke thing, but yeah. No, I mean, the Muppets aren't. Well, Disney definitely, I wouldn't say they're woke. Well, the corporate culture is, which I don't really have a problem with. I don't have a problem with anybody's sexuality or gender or anything like that. But where they're woke is like, this is for children. It's really not woke. It's like, no, kids won't get it. Either kids won't get it, or it's too adult, or that's racy. And I'm like, did you ever watch the Muppet Show? It wasn't a kid show. And Jim and I, well, I've talked about this before. Jim and I talked about it. He said the Muppet Show Muppets are not, it's not a kid show.
Fozzie and Raquel Welch was scandalous.
And
if anyone remembers that.
Yeah, what they tried with the last version of the series they did, which was sadly, they spent $3 million an episode on that. That's $3 million. That was for 2 episodes. That's what I got to do a Muppet feature film. What I got, the other guys got 60 to 70 million. They doubled down on being inside baseball. The thing about the Muppet Show was great. So it was TV. People had probably watched it. They were watching this. Piggy had a talk show. That was fine. And the behind the scenes was fine. But the problem was there was no Muppet Show. There was no show. The show was Piggy at a desk interviewing celebrities, which was not the Muppet Show.
No.
So now, in their all infinite wisdom, they go, let's just redo the Muppet Show. Right. But we're not going to hire anybody who actually worked on it.
No.
We're going to bring in. Yeah.
I think we can really go back to the roots and ruin it there.
Seth Rogen. That's when you think Muppets, you think Seth Rogen. I think I've said this. What's her face from SNL, who I adore, who created 30 Rock, who she admitted.
Yeah, Tina Fey.
Tina Fey admitted 30 Rock was just a Muppet Show with actors.
Right.
I think I said this. I asked her when I met her, hey, would you be interested in being the showrunner on a new Muppet Show? I think if you do that, she goes, I can. I got like a 5-year deal with NBC. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have any beef with Seth Rogen. I love what he's done with his adult shows like The Preacher and The Boys. I think are great and fun and bring an adult, literally an adult, very adult sensibility to comic book stuff. But I don't know. And then the guest is Sabrina Carpenter, which is like, and with special guest Imelda Flarber. I'm like, I have no idea. I know she's a singer of some note,
Sure,
but I don't know. I've lost all hope. And maybe they can pull it off. It's just a special, which is like, that's Disney. We've been burned too many times. Yeah, we keep hiring the wrong people to run the show who don't respect what they lose is the silliness. This was my beef with the last version, was that there was no fun. There was no silly Muppet stuff. It was all like, ooh, their interpersonal relationships, which are fine, but that's not what made the Muppet Show.
Well, I have the tagline for our video now. The Muppets suck now.
There you go. Muppets suck now, and the Muppets suck silverfish poo. The Muppets are silverfish poo. Well, they don't suck. They just aren't the Muppets. They're an IP. They're like the Smurfs. Hey, who wants to do a Smurf thing? Who wants to do a Muppet?
The IP. They're the Mippets.
They're the fail pit. Never mind. But I'm not bitter. Oh God.
Excuse me, Piggy. Is this felt? Would you like it to be?
I was watching something recently where Kermit, everyone knows Kermit the Frog up here, but he was, a lot of times he was like, Ozzy, what are you doing? And no one gets that right.
Yeah.
Everyone is picking on Matt Vogel, who's the
Matt Vogel does a great job, actually.
Oh, most people do not like him.
They're wrong because they're too used to Whitmire.
Well, that's what's funny. They're used to Steve Whitmire, who was a higher Kermit. He was kind of like, hey, everybody. He was up here. I haven't watched anything recently because I haven't done anything. I didn't watch the Mayhem show, but Matt might have had some bits in it. It wasn't really a Kermit-heavy show.
Not really frog-centric.
Matt's a great guy and a very talented puppeteer. The problem is they're all except for Dave Goelz and Bill Beretta, who created their own characters.
Right.
Everyone else is an impressionist. They're just doing impressions. And again, it's like, we've hired the new John Cleese. We want you to be John Cleese. Don't be you. Don't be, Alan Cummings. Do John Cleese. All right, then. Don't like this. And it kind of works then, but it becomes a Xerox copy of a Xerox copy.
Yeah. Which
is, again, I kind of pick on Disney because they're a horrible company to work with and treat people awfully. But aside from that, they don't, you could probably talk about every franchise they've purchased, Pixar, Star Wars, and the Muppets, and how over time they kind of get crappy. Yeah, Star Wars. I know what that is. That's one of them light swords. That's a laser
That's
sword.
One of those light swords.
But Disney, and I look, it's easy to pick on them.
It is what it is.
Well, it's corporate. It's really corporate think, not Disney per se.
Yeah.
Every giant Paramount, they're all.
Well, they want to make widgets, but they don't know what the widget is.
Right. And if it's weird or crazy, it doesn't fit in what's been successful before.
Yeah.
But that's what's weird about the Muppets. Like, let's not recreate the Muppet Show. Let's do something different. It's corporate. And then they finally go 40 years later, hey, let's do the original Muppet Show, but let's not have anyone who worked on it except Dave Goelz. So I don't know. It's Pixar is kind of the same. I think part there was, and Lasseter, for all his problems, was kind of, there was, and just having been a person who worked for creative franchises for most of my life, if there isn't a one person where the buck stops,
it
falls apart, becomes committee. Even Star Wars, even though George was as flawed as he was as a storyteller, he was the guy that kind of did the first
At least
three.
You could get answers from him.
Yeah, and then the prequels, I don't know. That's where you're like, okay, maybe it was just too much money and too much. I don't know. He was with the buck stopped there, and you're like, but what happened?
Well, there was too much buck and not enough stop.
Yeah. And then Jim Henson, of course, with the Muppets and the Henson Company, and then Pixar with the people who created it. And Pete Docter is an amazing person, and he's doing the best he can, but he's got this corporation telling him how to do it and how much, here's the delivery date, here's what it's got to be, more. Yeah. And it's not a great way that's the problem with success very often, is the banks move in and go, that's great, make more. Yeah. We don't care about quality so much. It's like, because people go see, it's a Pixar movie, everyone go see it. And then you get where we are now, which people are like, okay.
No, if they had to make Toy Story today, they'd make the original version that they almost finished, with Woody and Buzz being assholes.
Really, I didn't even know about that.
Oh yeah, no, they had the whole thing.
Right,
It wasn't
boarded out.
completely rendered, but they
Boarded out,
they
yeah.
showed the test to Jeff Katzenberg,
Right.
and I said, this is horrible. This movie is terrible. And they basically spent a weekend fixing it and saying, okay, well, we need to redo this whole thing.
They took the charm out, or it had no charm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Zootopia 2 is kicking ass, and I have friends who worked on it. That looks great. I haven't seen it yet.
I
love
seen it
Zootopia
either.
1, and I think it's made $1 billion already, or it's close to it. My friend did the music. And
how about that Avatar?
Nobody went to see it because
they a lot of people went to see it, actually.
Oh, really?
It did okay.
Right. Well, considering it's an Avatar movie, they were thinking $1 billion in 3 weeks.
Well, worldwide, I think it's like around 800. So it's okay.
It's made its money back.
It needs to make $3 billion.
Well, that's why I think, that's why Cameron can spend $300 million making a movie. But I just looked at it and went, oh, I get it. Air, fire, water. What's the last one? The mole people. The mole Avatars.
The last one is gas. They're on a gas planet.
No, they had air, which is gas. No, it's got to be the Earthatar, where they're tunneling mole people who aren't blue, they're brown.
Oh, the brown mole people.
Oh, the brown ones.
They're avatars.
Oh my God! Well, there's the right.
There it is.
There it is. They're mole people. They come out of the ground.
Just hire Jeff Bridges, and there you got it.
Well, hey, man.
I'm an avatar.
I'm an avatar, man. We're the mud people. We live in caves. Who are these humans?
This guy built a suit in a cave.
We got to join forces with the water people and the air people. And then we'll create, flying mud. Oh, my God.
Flying mud on fire.
Knowing Cameron, he's a great storyteller, but the big pictures aren't necessarily that clever. I wonder if the fourth one, or is it the fourth one? Yeah. Is basically the cave dwellers, the earth ones, and the air ones, and the fire and the water all join forces. Voices? They join forces.
They all join forces.
They join forces, you see. And they fight the humans. Oh, God.
Yeah,
I had it's funny because I like the Avatar and I like them in 3D. I have no desire to see this. Now, it could be because the world's going to hell and I don't give a crap about anything anymore. Or it just looked like more of the same, except now they're fire people.
Now, instead of blue, it's red.
Red and black. Yeah, I don't know. What is there any Zootopia I'm looking forward to? I'm just waiting for the holiday.
All the crowds to dissipate.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Is there anything else coming out?
Not that I know.
Any Star Wars stuff? Oh,
well, there's the Starfighter coming out 2 years.
Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday is coming out this 2026. I'm looking
next
forward
year.
to that.
Yeah,
I enjoy that. What about? There's a new series. Is it called Wonder Man? It sounds really cool on for Marvel Television for Disney Plus.
Oh, don't know.
Wonder Man.
He's made of white bread.
It's Danny Kaye. They've reanimated Danny Kaye as a superhero.
Yeah, that's a reference that everyone's gonna get.
I know. Everyone, even the children,
especially the children.
They've reanimated Danny Kaye and wait for it, the Virginia Mayo, heiress to the mayonnaise fortune. Why do I remember
this? You get mayo on Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Clever, very good. I see what you did there. Yeah, it was educating a youngster about Danny Kaye. Like, who's Danny Kaye? And they're like, why? I said, well, he was he was kind of up there with Bob Hope and Bing Crosby.
Who?
And yeah.
Who?
Yeah. Well, they knew who Bob Hope and Bing Crosby were.
Did they?
They did.
They'd ever seen anything?
No, they heard the names, but Danny Kaye was a complete cipher. And I said, Oh, I know. I watched a Christmas movie I'd never watched. Christmas in Connecticut. I know. You'd heard of it though, right?
No.
Oh,
I mean, I've heard the name. I just
right. You'd heard of the movie. Didn't know anything about it, so I watched
Is it
it.
a Hallmark thing?
No, it's from the 40s.
Oh,
It's the same era. Well, it's a little before like Holiday Inn.
A little before Holiday Inn and White Christmas.
White Christmas. It's a bit of a drawn out story, but there's a character actor in it who you'd immediately recognize. You probably won't know his name. S.Z. Sakis or
yeah, he's in Casablanca.
Yes, he's in a ton of things. Oh, catastrophe! He steals the entire movie.
Yeah,
it's Barbara Stanwyck, who everyone loves. This was okay for her. The male lead I'd never heard of before. Literally, kind of one of those good-looking guys who did 3 or 4 movies and didn't have a big career. You know, Rock Hudson kind of looks a little previous to him, but there's the rest of that flu. The premise is basically there's a very successful writer, Barbara Stanwyck, who writes for a magazine. Remember those? She writes a weekly column or monthly, whatever, about living in Connecticut and and she makes these amazing meals. And she writes the recipes and talks about her life there with the spinning wheel and the cows and her husband and her child. Well, it's all BS. She's just a clever journalist. It's Barbara Stanwyck. And it's structurally weird. It starts with 2 guys. It literally starts with 2 guys on a raft whose ship had blown up in World War II. And they're dying, essentially. They're literally like, what day is it? I was having this great dream. I was eating this great meal. You've been out for 15 days. And suddenly cuts
15 days.
Yeah, it's literally a raft that you could feed, 2 people, like, you better be good friends. Then they're in the hospital. This guy loves food. He wasn't, because of his illness, he wasn't allowed to eat. He was eating like mashed potatoes and soup. And the buddy who was with him was eating steak and eggs and all this great food in the VA hospital. And he reads, it's basically like Life magazine. He reads this column every week or every month about this gal writes these great stories about, it's like Martha Stewart, about living in Connecticut and how great it is. Anyway, through hook and crook, this nurse that has a crush on him realizes he loves her stuff. So he writes to the editor and says, she writes, because she wants to get on she wants to marry this guy. Hey, he wants to go. He's, a veteran. He was lost at sea for 15, 16 days. He would love to meet this gal at her place in Connecticut. And you're like, it's a pretty thin premise. Anyway, long story short, the editor goes, okay, great. And then Barbara Stanwyck has to go pretend and her best friend, who's a guy who's in love with her, but she won't marry him until he's like, well, just marry me. Look, you've got no other options, right? You're a woman in your 30s. So she pretends to live there with this guy, and they're going to get married. And the marriage keeps getting postponed, but S.A. Sakis is the chef, Felix, who she's friends with because she wrote about his restaurant. And so he adores her like he's her favorite uncle. He's the one doing the chefing. So he steals every scene he's in. And then hook comes a crook, and then she doesn't marry the guy, the kind of nice guy who's older and kind of like, yes. She marries the young, veteran who's been wounded or whatever. They fall in love. And it's very long and kind of complicated, but it's worth it for SZ's performance.
It's SZ Zakal. Sakall.
Oh, yeah. Sakall.
You'll recognize him if you search for him because he's very memorable. Certainly in Casablanca.
Well, definitely Casablanca, but didn't he also do some what's the director, the German director? He was cast a lot as comedy relief, and he's hilarious. Anyway, there you go. There's a character actor that we all know, and no one knew his name.
That's right.
Like, that guy.
Hey, look, there he is.
He was Hungarian, Austrian. So he could be an ancestor of mine.
He probably is.
Catastrophe! Everything is hunky dunky. But just every scene he's in, he's a Muppet basically. He's a Muppet. Yeah, he's me, but even bigger if that's imaginable. Because he's got a face like a cartoon character. He's got big nose, big rubbery cheeks, big glasses, like kind of wild blonde. It looks like blonde. I don't know if it's gray or blonde or white hair. He's very heavy set. He's just hilarious. But we'll go back to a discussion we've had multiple times. Like, do we have character actors like that now? Jack Black is the closest thing I can think of, who's not as character. Who else is? He was in the Harry Potter spinoff. He played the human who falls in love with a witch, I guess, or a magician. Chubby guy. He's kind of that. I mean, he plays it more serious now, but he was kind of that big. I can't remember his name. Oh, you know him. He did Plan 9 from Outer Space with us last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I know. I can't remember his name. Lovely guy. Hung out with him.
And he played Coppola in the what was it called?
Are you talking about Mank? No, not Mank.
No, it was the Paramount Plus show.
Yeah.
It's not The Deal. It's the.
Right. I didn't watch it, but speaking of Hollywood,
yes,
David Fincher just wrapped Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Part 2, which I didn't know he was doing that.
I'd heard he was doing that.
I did, and I completely forgot. And I guess it wrapped about 3 weeks ago because I had friends who worked on it.
Friends you have there.
Or they had a screening. I can't tell if it was a wrap. It sounded more like a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I'm very curious because two very different styles. Quentin's stuff is loose and fun, and there's little filigrees that I don't know, like the Jackie Chan. He has stuff that you're like, it's not dry. Where David's stuff has become very dry. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's very kind of clinical. Yeah. So I'm curious to see with Quentin producing, if they butt heads or he just kind of said, "Do your thing, man." I don't know. Do your thing, man. Look, man, it's your movie.
I enjoyed seeing the action figure up there. I just wish I had my Gorn figure to meet him, because hey man,
is that some kind of reptile?
What a great you're having him leave like a Muppet.
Exactly. Well, if you just have him slide out, it just looks like he's on a.
Yeah, no, he doesn't slide, man.
Yeah,
he shuffles.
Man. He walks like that, man. We were doing. It's funny you said like a Muppet. We were doing Gremlins. We were saying don't have them walk like Muppets. Don't have them. But it's weird. You can't have them just slide around. It looks like they're on segways. So you kind of have to do a little bit of. Puppeteering. What a weird career.
And on that note,
a bearded career.
The bearded career.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us through all the thick and thin and BS.
And through all the weeks that we haven't been here.
Well, yeah, because life happens, man. The show really tied the year together. Isn't that right?
Your chair squeaking sounded just like Godzilla there.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it's not. It's gone now.
Yeah, that little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
That's a great soundtrack.
I'm looking forward to Godzilla -1.
The sequel.
The sequel.
Would that be Godzilla 0?
No.
That's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
That was an amazing movie. That was one of the highlights of 2024.
I mean, they would be done, but there's only 30 guys working on it.
and only 5 are doing the effects. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that guy should be given the entire Toho Studios repertoire.
Yeah, Toho Studios was different.
Yeah, Toho Studios.
Tojo Studios brought us World War II.
Oh man, I watched a documentary on the Japanese surrender and what led up to it with the bombings.
Yeah.
And there was a general who was very conservative. He's like, no, we cannot give up. We've got to fight. And when the emperor said, no, I don't want to put my people through this, the guy went to his office and killed himself, performed seppuku. And you're like, wow. He was committed to, he's like, well, I have failed. I did not convince the emperor to have every last Japanese person murdered by the U.S. forces with, what was interesting was, because I remember as a kid, I'm like, God, you nuked them once. Why did we do it twice? And my mom said, well, because we wanted them to know we could make more. Right. And I thought, well, that seems undeniably horrible. And that's exactly what they said. They were like, no, this is a fluke. This was just a super bomb they made to scare us. And then what was it, 3 days later? Okay.
And on that happy note, we close the Weirded Beardos for this year.
No, let's have a happy note. They're legalizing marijuana. Yeah.
No, not really.
Well, it's a class 3 instead of a class 1.
Yeah. So
I don't partake, so I don't really.
I don't either.
It makes people happy. So does bourbon.
Does it, or does it make people forget that they're unhappy?
2-hour show. I can talk about
two different things.
I know. Alcohol consumption is way down in the U.S.
That's because it's too damn expensive.
Just like cars.
Yeah.
Cars and booze, things I like.
Things that don't go great together.
Things that make you go, Things that make you go, things that make you go, All right, I'm done.
Everybody, thanks for spending the year with us.
For listening to Darren's nonsense.
Yeah.
You can't even hold a thought and keep it straight.
No.
I don't know why you put up with him.
I don't know why I put up with me either.
Well, buddy,
Kirk,
it's been a year.
Love you. And hopefully we'll do more of these. I don't know when, to be fair.
Are you running off to do all sorts of things?
No, but we can't plan this anymore because it's not
well, with
viable.
my move and the
yeah, you got a lot of stuff to do.
Secret agent stuff I got to do or I'm flying to, it's very can't talk about
real
that.
James Bond kind of stuff.
Wait, what is that from?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
That's right. I knew you got the face right. Real James Bond stuff. See, we don't know how to end our shows.
No. Let's just end it here with a big thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the other side.
Good night and God bless.
Everyone loves a Red Skelton.
Everyone loves that Red Skelton reference.
Wow.
Me
Have a good one. We'll see you next time.
The Weirded Beardos are Kirk Thatcher and Darren Doctorman. Email them at theweirdedbeardos@gmail.com.